we're down here at the Hammers, and we're just heading up towards Jackhammer, and what do we see but a Jeep Comanche? Is this your rig?
Yeah, it's mine.
So what's your name?
My name's Andrew.
Andrew Trevor, WFO.
Trevor.
So you just don't see a lot of Comanches, and we have one, and it's LS powered and a lot more beat up than this. Alan, who runs our gear and axle department, has it, and I heard this thing driving by earlier, and it's got a little rumble to it.
It's a 88 Comanche. Not much of it left is Comanche though, pretty much just the body. It's on tons. It's got a Dodge Dana 60.
So that Dodge Dana 60, back in the day, a lot of Jeep guys were using this. It's like a 99, 2000 with the vacuum disconnect.
Yep.
And a lot of guys wanted to use it because it still had ABS that would go into like TJs and stuff.
Sure.
Unitized outer bearings, no locking hubs.
Yep.
It's kind of frowned upon now in the industry, but you've done everything to it, right? So what are the upgrades you've done to this 60?
Yeah, a lot of people hate on it, truthfully, but it's locked. It's got a Yukon Grizzly locker, Yukon inner shafts.
I love the fact that everything is raw metal too on this thing.
Well, it's
much.
just a waste of time. So.
Yeah. So Yukon shafts, one-piece axle, no more vacuum disconnect, right?
Correct, yep.
What locker's in there?
Yukon Grizzly,
okay.
With 513s also.
PSC hydro assist.
PSC RAM.
Heim steering.
Yep. We countersunk the bolt holes on the diff cover. That way they hold against the RAM.
Yeah, because mounting your RAM to the diff cover is sometimes frowned upon, but if it's done right and you pay attention, it holds in there just good. And right here, packaging is everything. I can see pitman arm, track bar. I mean, everything is within
it's
an
tight.
1/8 inch, right?
It's tight.
And it's super low to the ground.
Yep.
Looking over here, you got coilovers. What size coilovers you got in this?
Those are 12-inch locked coilovers, 2.5s.
Okay.
Same 2.0 bumps.
Okay.
2.5 bumps, I don't really remember.
And I'm looking at this thing. This thing is fully, well, first off, unibody front, right? So the front half from the B-pillar forward is just like an XJ, right?
Correct.
So everything unibody, but as you can see, you basically built a frame. So you're plated front to rear.
Fully plated.
Bumper plates all the way back. On the other side, it catches the bolts for the steering box, so the steering box is rigid.
Yeah, around the front here where the bumpers, it's actually like a 1/2 inch thick. There's 2 layers of plate plus the bumper mounts.
Yep.
So it's pretty sturdy.
And I can see to get it this low and get clearance, the inside of the fender well has been clearance.
Yep, all of this has been added on.
Air bumps. So what I'm noticing is you have 2x2 1/4 inch wall lower links, right? Square tube.
Yeah, it's actually a Clayton 3-link that we've modified.
Oh, okay, yeah, because they use the square a lot.
Yeah.
So 3-link is on the passenger side, the upper 3-link.
Yep, and typically it's on the driver's side, but for packaging, drive shaft, we moved it to the passenger side.
Exactly. So method bead locks, 37-inch tires, which helps you stay this low and kind of be a sleeper, right?
Yeah, you could say that. Yeah.
Tubing everywhere, kind of inside. We like this style of doing an XO, but not to be obnoxious by bringing it inside the fender well like this.
Right.
2-year sliders all the way over the top, even protecting the sunroof up there.
Yep.
And so basically you've made the whole front of this, tin can XJ Comanche type chassis rigid, right?
Yeah, you could say that, definitely.
And then to complement that, before we move to the back, you did something under here, right?
Just a little thing.
That is an LS. So what engine's that?
LQ9. It's a crate LQ9 stock, nothing fancy, but like an O'Reilly's LQ9.
I noticed you have the car intake on that. So did you get a long block and then put the intake on, or?
Yeah, I never wanted to stick the intake through the hood, so the car intake was always a must.
With a Comanche Cherokee XJ package, to get it under the hood with a truck manifold is impossible.
Correct. Yeah, your intake throttle body ends up poking through. So
the car manifold nice and low. Obviously car accessory drives then as well, right?
Yes. Yep.
And still running mass airflow.
Yep, correct. It's a PSI conversions.
PSI conversions, yep. I see your strut tower, coilovers coming up through. I didn't even realize that your shocks have clickers, huh?
Yes, sir.
So a little adjustability. So in Alan's race truck, there's always had an overheating issue. And so you battled that a little bit. You finally come up with the package that works, right?
Yep.
So I see a radiator sunk in here. It's actually all the way up into the support, right?
Yeah, it's pushed forward about as much as you can get
Because the stock radiator goes here, doesn't it?
No, it goes
in
under,
there?
but the fans stick out, so I had to chop the shroud of the fan to get everything closer because it's just tight.
This is Summit, just like a Summit generic radiator, right?
So this is literally a Summit radiator because 2 years ago, water crossing number 2 on Fordyce, I smoked a fan and a radiator.
Oh yeah, that happens.
So
always turn them off before you go through.
So we had to wheel out, run up to Sparks to Summit, get the new radiator.
So this is what's making your package work. So this fan is a Crown Vic 2-speed, and how big is it?
It's like a 19-inch diameter.
Okay, so the size of the fan, the fact that you have a shroud, I mean, I see you even have the air gap siliconed up so you're not, so every bit of CFM is sucking through this to keep it cool. And if you've ever had one of these engine packages in a vehicle like this, and cooling is an issue, you can understand what we got going right here. So this right here looks like a dirt bike radiator.
And it is.
And when you were messing with the radiator before, you piggyback this into the system so you have cooling in 2 different areas, right?
Yeah, it was a struggle for a while, especially in the summertime, because in my opinion, if you can't maintain 70 on the freeway in the summertime and stay cool,
then you're not cooling
it's not
enough.
doing the job.
This is built to be a do-all, right? I mean, it goes, you take it places, you go on Rubicon type, Fordyce, all down here at the Hammers.
Yep, I drive it there when I go there, so I drove it here.
Did you drive it here?
Vegas. Yes, I did.
From Vegas, that's awesome.
Yep, 220 miles, doing about 70 the whole way.
That is awesome. Well, let's work our way to the back here. Transmission. 4L60, right?
Yep, I guess you would call it like a stage 2 or something.
So I see in looking in here, you have triple sticks in there.
Yep.
Meaning that's what, a doubler?
It's got a doubler, MP205 with the top shaved off so it fits in the tunnel.
Okay.
And then there's a Northwest Fab black box.
And classic gauges in there. So you're 4-to-1 in total underdrive because they're basically 1.9 and 1.9.
Well, it's 2-to-1. And then the black box is 272.
Oh, because you did a black box, so it's planetaries.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So it's like 538 or 544.
Yep. And then do you, on the trails, are you running them both in or just the planetary, just the black box?
Most of the time it's in 205 low. And then if I really want to slow it down, I'll put the doubler in.
So you're 2-to-1 most of the time, yeah. You're more just details on the exo cage, the rear light. You got kind of like a, almost like
slider.
A platform here.
It's pretty much a slider. I mean, it gets used like
to rub off of it on rocks. I was looking underneath here. I got a 14 bolt down underneath this thing, air bumps. But one of the things I saw is your shackle, because the back of these do have a frame, right? Comanches have a frame. It's not a full frame, but I noticed that the upper shackle bolt actually shares the bumper bolt. Anywhere you can stack metal, weld, and plate on one of these packages, it just makes it that much stronger. Show me what you got going here, because I think this might be the ultimate wheeling camping setup, right?
Yeah, a lot of people like this a lot. So to gain access into the back.
Like Chevy Tahoe rear struts, Amazon or something like that?
Yeah, O'Reilly's, O'Reilly's, whatever.
Yep. I see you got extra stub shaft there. That's one of those early Dodge 1-ton unitized front outer stub. Onboard air, batteries in the box in the back because there's none up in the front, no room. ARB, fridge, and then just tools and water. Everything has its place, right? Maybe you could use 40s on this thing, but it seems to me the package is built really well to go around the 37s. What gear ratio do you run?
513s in the diffs.
513s, and I think you said you had a Grizzly in the front. What's in the rear?
That's a torque locker in the back.
Torque locker.
Yeah, okay. Just like a drop-in.
Like a lunchbox style.
Yep, pretty much.
Yep. And I mean, the rock sliders, those are so low profile, tie everything together, just bitching. The links go to that subframe, cross and brawl weld in, then a full skid plate.
Yep.
You got some party for sure on your rear driveline and pinion guard.
Yeah.
This thing is definitely here to wheel, and having that low pinion front 60, people might talk trash about that, but it keeps the driveline down low enough so you can have it super low to the ground and still have up travel, not interfere on things.
Yep, it makes good with the truck style oil pan.
Yep, gotcha.
Which I'm happy about.
I love it. I think that you have something very unique. There's a lot of really crazy buggy builds around here, but they're not driving to the trail. They're not equipped with all the stuff you have,
Sure.
You're definitely not your average overlander. This is a crawler with a tent.
Sure, I'll take that. I'll take that.
You should take that any day, yeah. Well, I want to thank you for showing us around your truck.
Definitely.
Awesome truck.